Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Ben or Killamil. I play Amtgard. I've been playing Amtgard for a few years now. I do apologize that I'm going to be taking a quick drink of this mystical green liquid. Can't have it on in the shot. Sorry. Anyways, so in my last episode, I talked about safety equipment and talked about safety and how everybody needs to be a little more conscious of each other and conscious of themselves. Um, the next thing I actually do want to go over is I actually want to talk about one of the things that actually revolves around the game, and that is the wonderful list of classes. There is, I'm going to say there's 12, 13 classes in total. I'm not 100% on that. Don't quote me on that. But we will go ahead and we will take a quick look in the files. Now, I do have a thing in my on my. So I do apologize if you're seeing the flashing of the lights. So we're gonna do a quick. We're gonna first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick count of how many classes there are because I can't remember off the top of my head every single time. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick count of how many classes there are. There are 3 classes that don't have respective pages for themselves, and that is the peasant, the reeve, and the color. They don't have their own respective pages, but they are classes. Uh, Color is pretty much is a non-playing character or non-combatant. They are the people that like to come out and hang out at the. I do apologize. I got something in the room and it's bugging the crap out of me. They're the non-combatants. They're the people that will be at the Nirvana. They'll be at the gathering areas and they'll be talking to each other, doing crafts, or handling any kind of rules, or they'll be doing judging if there's any arts and science going on. We'll go into arts and science a little later. Excuse me, a lot later. Oh, I forgot this also. There's also a class called Monster. Monster is actually one that actually has its own book. It doesn't have just a page or two, it has its own book. And the book for the monster is called the Dorun Avatar, which is 3 words: Dor Un Avatar. That handles all the monsters, what monsters you can play based off of what level and what power, and it breaks down even more. Anyway, so like I said, there was the peasant, the reeve, the color, and the monster. So we're already at 4 classes. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 12 classes. Let me do my math again. Let me double check that. So we got peasant, we got reeve, we got color, we got monster, we got archer, assassin, barbarian, monk, scout, warrior, bard, druid, healer, wizard, paladin, anti-paladin. Now, I already covered color and monster. Reeves are the judges of the combat side. They handle weapons tournaments, battle games. Anytime there's slicing and dicing going on or the swinging of the foam, they're going to be out there. They're going to be the ones that will be making any calls, breaking anything up. They get the final say in a conflict between 2 opponents. If they caught it, if they didn't catch it, then they still get the final say. What they're going to do is they help mediate and handle any issues that arise. Peasant is that kind of class where it doesn't get any abilities. It gets 1 weapon and that's it. It's typically handed to people that either don't wear the requirement of garb, or what the class requires. And all the classes require literally just a colored sash pertaining to that class. And we will go over those real quick. If you are a monster, you will be wearing a silver sash. If you are a reeve, you'll be wearing a gold sash. To become a reeve, you have to know the rules. You have to be reeves qualified. You can shadow another reeve if you want, but you won't be able to make a final decision. You would have to read the rule book, understand the rule book, pass a test on the rule book. There's only 6 levels in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy as that. And each level takes X amount of credits to get. From 0 to 4, you're level 1. 5 to 11, you're 2. 12 to 20, you're 3. 21 to 33, you're 4. 34 to 52, you're 5. 53 on, you're level 6. So we're going to start with the first class that pops up in the rule book, and that is the archer. The archer is self-explanatory. It's that person you see out there with the bow and arrow. They're typically denoted with an orange sash, meaning an archer can go out there with just melee weapons, but they get a bow. So why not? So why play an archer when you don't have a bow? Well, that's something that I probably can't really honestly answer for that one. But they get some fun little arrows for their bow, depending on their level. They start out picking from. They end up getting to pick 2 out of 3 arrows, and then that happens every odd level. 1st, 3rd, and 5th. They get to pick 2 of 3 specialty arrows. At the 4th and 6th level, they get another specialty arrow that they don't have to pick. They get it. And it's all the arrows are unlimited use. You can fire it, go, pick it up, fire it again. And the incantations for them are very easy. They also get a reload ability, which allows them to go and collect their arrows so they don't have to wait to die to get them back. They also get amend or repair. Put it simply, amend is a repair. It's a one-time repair where they can fix a broken weapon or repair 1 point of armor. Armor does break down to the points more, but we will cover that later, because armor, magic, and class abilities, they will be broken down into their own separate videos. Trying to cover them all right now, I would probably make this video 2-3 hours long. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do a brief overview of what all the classes are, and then we're going to go one by one and do each class. And I'm going to give a brief overview of what that class does. And then once you watch it and you get a little better of an understanding, then you can go to your respective park or wherever you're going to be playing Amtgard at, and you can talk to other people and learn a lot more about the class that you have in question. I can also go a little more in depth on those, but we're going to just do that right there. Also, following Archer, you're going to notice that this is alphabetical, and it's also going to be alphabetical by type of class. There's going to be the melee and the magic. That's how it is. So following Archer is Assassin. And the Assassins are denoted by a black sash. In this version, they're denoted by a black sash, mind you. And they're going to be I'm going to disappear, reappear, and do some harm, only to disappear and reappear again kind of class. They get a few different weapons, and they get a few more weapons than the archer, and their abilities will be mostly around disappearing or poofing and reappearing to inflict injuries or to kill people. Next up is going to be Barbarian. The Barbarians are self-explanatory. They're the more brutal of the group. They're going to be the ones that are going to be up in your face, trying to do as much damage as they can. This is actually the first class you will run into that actually has what's called immunities to magic school types. They are unaffected by 2 different types of school. We'll go over those in the magic portion. They get a trait that allows them to break armor a lot easier than anybody else. They do have a limitation. This is also the first class you'll run into with a limitation, and it's the only odd one of the group, and that is that they cannot receive enchantments from other classes, meaning a barbarian cannot be enchanted by a druid or by a healer. They can't take those enchantments. It's literally a barbarian has to enchant another barbarian, but all their enchantments are towards themselves. It's not towards others. Like I said, they're the more brutal and savage of the group. They get to affect the flow a little bit more, and they also get the one ability that people are a little triggered by, and it's called Fight After Death. And what Fight After Death is we'll go over that a little more when we go over Barbarian. All I know is it's pretty much one of the only classes that gets this ability. It's a little tricky to play with, a little tricky to pull off, but when done right, it's brutal. Following up Barbarian, we are going to be looking at Monk. And now monks, they are typically seen as the best class to be used as the startup class for any new player. What it means is they don't have they get this ability to where they are literally unaffected by anything magical unless you go up and touch them. So what that means is you hear a caster casting something at you and you're a monk. By the way, I forgot, barbarians are denoted by white sash. I should probably point that out. Monks are denoted by a gray sash. Notice how I said gray and not silver. There's a little history lesson there. But if you wear a silver sash and you say you're a monk, you might be mistaken for a monster. So you have to wear a gray sash, and it's got to be a little duller than the silver. That helps denote what class you're playing. The monk, like I said, it's not affected by magic. They also get 3 of the only abilities in the game that I've yet to find on any other class, and that is where they can block arrows and projectiles and not be harmed by them. And they actually have to actively block the arrows. They cannot just walk by and take one in the arm and say, I'm a monk, doesn't count. No, they have to actually see the projectile coming, put a hand up or put whatever weapon they have in their hand up and quickly just block its path. They cannot just go and swipe down on it. We've had a lot of archers and people in the past with arrows that have taken shots real quick, and somebody's come by and swatted their arrow down and snapped the shaft. Not a fun day. They also get a couple of healing spiritual spells, but they get a little ability called Sanctuary. Like I said, we'll be going over all the class abilities in another video for respective to that class. Following Monk up in the rule book, we are looking right at a Scout. Now, a Scout doesn't really get played much, but it does make a big appearance, and it does become a vital source in place of stuff. And the way to denote a scout is they get a green sash. That denotes what they are. And the scout becomes a bit of a utility class. They get the ability to track people down, all that fun stuff. Again, we will cover each class in its own video. Following Scout, we have the Warriors. This is probably going to be one of the main few classes you're going to be seeing out there in beginning portions until you get a little more in-depth and understanding of the rule book and primarily of Magic. Then you'll probably start understanding and delving a little further in. Warriors are one of the few classes that get to wear a lot of points of armor. Everybody else is either no points or up to like 3-4 points. Warriors are literally the tank of everything, and they are denoted by a purple sash. Now, these are all the melee classes that you can play. Now we get to go into the Magic classes you get to play, and there's only 4 of those. The first one that pops up is a Bard. The Bard is the first Magic class. It is however, and I'm going to put this out right now, the Magic classes are however you want to play it. This is a brief overview from me of what they are, and I would say Bards are more of a combat style utility belt, to put it simply. They are denoted by a light blue sash. So a light blue to go across. I've seen regular blue and dark blue put out there, and people have been okay with it, but light blue is what it says. Going past the Bard, we go into the Druid, and the Druid itself is a fun little class. I'm starting to learn about it a little bit more by myself, but I've had some tangles with some in the past also. And the Druid is denoted by a brown sash. Now the Druids are going to be a little offense. However you want to play them, they can be offense or they can be straight support. That's however you want to play it. Following Druid is the healer class, and the healer class, like it says, is primarily a support class, but it can be a combat class if you set it up right. And those ones are denoted by a red sash. It's kind of self-explanatory as to why I got the red sash, but we'll leave it at that. Following the healer is the wizard class. And the wizard class, quick brief overview, that is a pure offensive capable magic class. That one is denoted by a yellow sash. Now, those are all 4 of the classes. Each one will get its own respective video where we'll go a little more in-depth onto it. We'll talk about their abilities, and we'll talk about what they can do, what they can't do. These 2 classes I will do a brief overview on, a very brief overview, but these ones are, as a way to put it, they are inaccessible unless you receive a certain elevation to peerage, as they put it, or you be promoted to a knighthood. We'll go over that a little more later. Yes, I did pull hair out of my head. I do apologize for that. Anyways, so the first of 2 classes that are inaccessible at the time are the anti-paladin, and you guessed it, the paladin. The anti-paladin is denoted by wearing a white knight's belt and a black phoenix on either your garb or hanging off your belt to denote, hey, I have a black phoenix, I'm an anti-paladin. I have a white phoenix, I'm a paladin. But like I said, these ones have that requirement that a lot of people are pushing for, and it is knighthood. You have to be a knight to play these two classes. Now, the anti-paladin and the paladin, they're 1-to-1. They are opposites of each other, but you put them out there, and they will be able to go toe to toe with each other. They do counteract each other to a point. So the anti-paladin is all about death and destruction, and the paladin is more about life and protection. Now, being a paladin, you don't have to be the good, lawful good paladin that you see in Dungeons and Dragons. You can be a little more evil of a paladin. You can be a little more of a good anti-paladin. It's all up to how you want to play it. But that is literally all it is. Other than that, guys, those are all the classes that are in this wonderful game. They are all in the rule book, except for the monster class. The monster class just has a quick blurb about it. Has like a quick small paragraph on the page before you go into the classes. You actually have to go get another book for it. It's like real life Dungeons and Dragons. Wow. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you today. If I did a good enough job, go ahead and like and comment on the video. If you want to be there if I put out any new videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Other than that, guys, I will see you around. Bye, guys.